I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Dover. C.J. Jeffries and Blake Viken on the front row. Michael Whiting, David Gorman on the second row. Austin Ruskoff, Brandon Newby on the third row. The Mark Nelson and Austin Abel in the fourth row. Richie Joplin and Kyle Holden rounding out the top 10. Zach Henson starts in 11th next to Mark Dantuma in 12th. Donald Double D Durant rounds out the field. Everybody has made it to the grid. The pace car is rolling. Who will be Miles the Monster's first victim here tonight at the Monster Mile at Dover? This track is super abrasive. It'll wear the tires quickly, and when that tire wear rears its ugly head, it is never good. The drivers will definitely have their hands full after 7 or 8 laps. Hey, good evening, Kevin. How are you, buddy? And here we go. Pace car drops to pit road. C.J. Jeffries leads them down. The green flag flies. We are down and away at Dover. Side by side through turn 1. Will we see any chaos out of turn 4 here on cold tires? These cars are loose out of turn 4. It's a drag race to the line. Viken leads at the line. How are you doing tonight, Kevin? This side-by-side battle out front definitely benefiting the drivers back behind. They finally get single file with Blake at the front. Richie Joplin already making his way through the field. Looks underneath Mark Nelson. Mark, not a big fan of this track, but he did seem to have quite a bit of speed in practice. And Mark is known for making the car last a long time. Kyle Holden did not qualify, currently sits in 10th. Don't be surprised when he makes it to the front. A couple of drivers said, with Holden in the field, they are racing for second. Blake Viken up front has the fastest lap of the race so far last time by, and did it again this time by 22.81. But it's worth noting these guys are gonna get slower very quickly. Likely will have a few more fast laps in those tires. C.J. Jeffries just beat Blake's lap, ran a 22.77. David Gorman in third, losing ground about a half second back. Don't count Gourmet out yet, though. He has been known to pull off a win or two here at Dover. He knows how to get it done here. Austin Ruskoff already up 3 spots into 4th. Brandon Newby holding on to 5th. Richie Joplin coming through the field. Richie now up into 6th. Michael Whiting in 7th. He has lost a lot of ground off the start. Whiting, another one, though, that does conserve the car. Oh, we've got cars on the inside wall. Blake Beacon involved, and caution is out for the first time. CJ Jeffries also involved. The top two in trouble early. And will we see everybody come in for tires here? Let's see what happened up front. There's CJ. Oh, Blake gets loose out of turn 2. He collected Garmin as well. Taking a look down from the blimp, and we'll slow it down. It looks like Blake may have gotten a little bit of a tap from CJ coming out of the turn. It was definitely already loose. They both bounce off the outside wall. Blake comes down, collects Garmin. Everybody else manages to make it through. CJ Jeffries, David Garmin, and Blake Beacon all come to pit road. All three of them having to use their fast repair here early. And now have a lot of traffic to come through. Austin Ruskoff and Brandon Newby now in the front row. Richie Joplin, Mark Nelson on the second. Michael White and Kyle Holden have the third row. Austin Abel, Mark Dantuma on the fourth. Zach Henson and Double D round out the top 10. Garmin, Beacon, and Jeffries round out the field as they come to the 1 to green. The competition caution tonight at lap 43. The drivers are looking at between 77 and 82 laps on fuel. There is a possibility a driver could make it from the caution to the end without stopping. However, 80 laps on a set of tires here at Dover, that would be unpleasant to say the least. All right, here we go. Coming out of turn 4, pace car will dive to pit road. Austin Ruskoff in charge up front. Into the restart zone. They fire. Green flag is in the air. Richie Joplin quickly gets underneath Brandon Newby and jumps to second as Austin pulls out quick. Now you got several cars back behind that were the fastest on track earlier on. David Garmin, CJ Jeffries, Blake Beacon, as there's a battle for the lead. Richie down underneath Austin. Side by side, Richie gets loose out of 2. Gets it settled back into turn 3. Austin goes a little higher up the track. And Richie gets loose again out of 4. Manages to save it again, but now drifts back side by side with Newby. Kyle Holden has already shot his way to fourth. Austin still has the lead. Newbie now in second. Newbie a little squirrely. Richie in position to shoot by. And here comes Holden. Hey, thank you, Quack. The guys involved in that early incident already fighting their way forward. David Garman currently in ninth. CJ looking underneath. Zach Henson trying to get a run underneath Michael Whiting. Oh, Garman's in the wall. Garman lost a little bit of momentum, not much. He is still in the fight. As CJ slips by, takes the opportunity, he goes back to 8th. Austin Ruskoff still has the lead. Richie back into second. Newbie in third. Holden Lurkin in fourth. Mark Nelson now up into 5th. Austin Abel in 6th has Zach Henson lurking underneath. CJ Jeffries right behind in 8th looking for, Austin a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 2. Meanwhile, the other Austin just continues to set the pace out front. Ruskoff just a couple of car lengths ahead of Richie. But the gap is holding consistent for the moment. Austin Abel now pulling away from that second group as CJ Jeffries and Zach Henson go side by side. CJ has the run and Garman has a look under Henson but can't get there. Blake Viken up top battling with Michael Whiting on the bottom. Blake pulls ahead, holds on to 10. Richie managing to stay right within striking distance of Austin Ruskoff. And Richie almost got loose again. Coming out of 4, he holds on to it. But now Kyle Holden is right in their mirror in 3rd. CJ Jeffries has already made his way back up into 6th. As Richie looks back underneath for the lead from Austin Ruskoff. Remember, last time he had the run under Austin, the car kept getting loose. That car on the high side gets too close to the car on the inside. He can take the air, take away the side draft, and take away some of that rear downforce, causing that car to get loose. Now Holden looks underneath for 2nd. Kyle runs it in there awfully deep. Comes out of turn 4 with the nose ahead. Richie has the momentum up top. Holden keeps fighting and looks like he will clear. Out of turn 2, Richie grabbed the wall, lost some momentum. Kyle Holden goes for the lead. And Kyle Holden to the lead for the first time. Richie's loose. Austin Ruskoff kissed the wall. Newbie slips by. Here comes Jeffries. CJ already back up into fourth. Ruskov has dropped back to fifth. And Kyle Holden to the lead. CJ shoots underneath Newbie and takes third. Looks like Newbie had a little loss of momentum. Oh, Austin Ruskov, Mark Nelson bang doors. Mark Nelson gets by. Austin back to sixth. Mark now to fifth. David Gorman was moving through the field earlier, but has dropped back into 11th. He has got some ground to make up after the called caution. Mark Dantuma has finally... Wait a minute. Dantuma's in a Toyota this week. I don't know what to say about that. I just don't. Actually, Dantuma knows the power of the Chevy. He has suffered the pain of the Ford. Why would he go to the Toyota? Garmin has gone to pit road. This is an unscheduled stop. As we've got battling right there, Austin Ruskov in seventh. Dantuma has a run, and here comes Henson. Henson saw the opening underneath Abel and has a run. Austin Abel able to fight back just a little bit. Whoa, it got really tight coming out of turn two. And Henson lost a little momentum. Kyle Holden out front now has a 1 second lead over CJ Jeffries. Richie Joplin in third. Mark Nelson has made his way to fourth. Blake Beacon now back up into fifth. Mark Dantuma has come from the back, is now up into sixth and moving forward. And it does appear the cars are starting to tighten up. Seeing a lot more drivers kissing the wall on corner exit. Holden continues to extend his lead just under 10 laps until the competition caution. Mark Nelson in fourth, closing in on Richie Joplin's back bumper. Blake Beacon and Mark Dantuma closing in as well. Oh, looks like Nelson kissed the wall coming out of four. I think we've seen just about everybody kiss the wall here. Except Holden. Haven't seen him kiss it yet. There he goes. Didn't seem to affect Kyle at all. He still has a 1.5 second lead. Mark Dantuma just got past Blake Beacon and has now moved into fifth. At the moment, Dantuma, the biggest mover of the race, up 7 spots. Mark Nelson had a little bit of a bobble. Dantuma right to his bumper. CJ Jeffries in second, now 1.8 seconds behind Holden, but 2.5 seconds ahead of Richie. Dantuma now looks to the bottom. has the nose ahead as they come out of turn 4. And looks like Dan Tuma will clear into turn 1. Mark Dan Tuma now 8 spots into 4th. We mentioned the tire wear earlier on. The fall off so far is about 1.5 seconds since the drop of the green flag from their fastest lap to the last lap. Everybody about 1.5 seconds a lap slower. Holden out front. Looks like Gourmet officially out of the race. Double D trying to hold on for another lap. As long as he can keep Holden in his mirror to the start-finish line, he will maintain the lead lap for now. And caution is out. The competition caution. Kyle Holden leads. CJ Jeffries in second. Richie Joplin currently in third. Mark Dan Tuma in fourth. Mark Nelson currently in fifth. Whack, is that a dancing squirrel? Everybody catching up to the pace car. We will see everybody on pit road this time. And here they come. Kyle Holden leads them down. This pit road is definitely one of the most painful to drive down. The speed limit, 35 miles an hour. It is a long, slow pit road, especially under green. If they have to make a green flag pit stop on this second run, that could be fatal for, it could be, CJ Jeffries wins the race off pit road. And man, was that close. Kyle Holden did not qualify. He started back in 10th. So his pit box further back. All CJ Jeffries had to do when they dropped the jack was slam the gas. And he manages to pull it off. And lights go out on the pace car. They will go green next time by. No surprise, Austin Ruskoff is dropping in to top off the tank. We mentioned that if they conserve early, they may be able to go the distance from here on fuel. Austin Ruskoff is hedging his bets by topping off. All right, here we go through 3 and 4. Pace car getting ready to dive to pit road. Remember, everybody is on cold tires. could see some problems the first couple of laps. Time will tell. Green flag is in the air. CJ nails the restart. Battling back behind, Mark Dantuma, Mark Nelson side by side. Blake got a big run. Had to back out coming through 1 and 2. Dantuma finally clears. Now Viken under Mark Nelson. And Blakey Poo Snickerdoodle Boo Boo already up several spots into third. CJ Jeffries out front, Kyle Holden in second. Blake now into third, 1.1 seconds back. And then just a big mess as Mark Nelson gets back under and gets back by Mark Dantuma. Zach Henson, Austin Abel, Michael Whiting, Richie Joplin, and Brandon Newby all back there. Definitely some tight racing out here tonight. Blake Viken's pace equal to the top two for the moment. He is actually starting to inch closer. Oh, we've got a hard hit to the inside wall. We will not see the caution. Looked like that was Double D. Let's see if we can see what happened. There's Donald Durant as he comes out of the turn, gets loose. Man, what a hit. And Double D has had another problem. And Durant has gone to pit road. Let's see what happened to him this time. There's Double D coming through 3 and 4. He's slow as he comes down. Oh! We mentioned there's pit road entry and pit road being tricky here at Dover. There he is, but he didn't get down low enough and gets the tires. Man, what a hit. Not the first time we have seen that happen under the green flag at Dover. Won't be the last. Kyle Holden still right on CJ's bumper. Durant is coming back out after repairs. Blake Viken in third, about 9/10 of a second back. He's gaining some ground on the top two. But he really needs them to get side by side to close that gap. Mark Dantuma is back into fourth. Zach Henson now up into fifth. Richie Joplin in sixth. Mark Nelson has slipped back to seventh. Brandon Newby in eighth. Austin Abel in ninth. And Michael Whiting currently in 10th. Great to see Blake and Brandon Newby back out on track. It's been 6 months since we saw either one of them racing regularly. And it appears both of those drivers will be joining Home Motorsports on Thursday night. As Richie Joplin is on the move. Down underneath and clears Zach Henson. Richie back up into 5th. Austin Habel currently in 9th, as Whiting on his bumper in 10th. Ruskoff back in 11th. Keep in mind, as we've got a battle for the lead, a little bit of contact between the two. And Holden reclaims the lead. Let's take a closer look at this pass for the lead. AC Holden gets the run underneath. He comes up a little bit. CJ comes down. No contact. Just a lot of great close racing, and Holden reclaims the lead. Now, late in that first run, CJ was as fast or faster than Kyle. Will he be able to maintain that and stay close enough to strike when he can? Blake back in 3rd has started to lose ground on the top 2. He's about 1 1/4 seconds back. Mark Dantuma now in 4th, just over a second back and gaining. Richie Joplin currently in 5th, Zach Henson in 6th. Mark Nelson currently in 7th, Michael Whiting in 8th, Austin Habel in 9th, Brandon Newby in 10th. Austin Ruskoff currently in 11th, Double D in 12th, a couple laps down. And David Gorman out of the race early. Kyle trying to open up a gap on CJ at the moment. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma has just about caught Blake. Also on the move, Zach Henson, who is now up into 6th and closing in on Richie Joplin at 5th. He's bringing Mark Nelson with him. Michael Whiting now in 8th is pulling away from 9th place Austin Habel. Austin Ruskoff has moved to 10th as Newby is slipping back. Less than 60 laps to go here at Dover. Holden out front by 3/4 of a second. did look like Kyle coming out of turn 2 got a little squirrely. These drivers have been out there for about 30 green flag laps on those tires. And as we saw that first run, the tires really start to go away after the first 10 laps. Already almost a second a lap slower. Kyle Holden's fastest lap of 22.92. Last time by 23.74. Mark Dantuma has now made his way into third, passing Beacon, and it looks like Blakey Poo is slipping back. Richie Joplin right there, along with Mark Nelson. Richie looking underneath. Oh, Richie's in a clear quickly, and Nelson almost gets there. Mark Nelson now looks under Blake as Blake slips back to 6th. The points leader now moves up into 5th. Coming into tonight, as we mentioned, Mark Nelson has a 90-point lead over Mark Dantuma. Richie Joplin in 3rd, Austin Ruskoff in 4th, Double D currently in 5th. But our points leader Mark Nelson currently runs in 5th. Second place Mark Dantuma is in 3rd. Third place Richie Joplin in 4th. Austin Ruskoff in 4th place in the points. Currently runs in 10th. And Double D problems tonight, back in 12th. It is worth noting, Austin Abel had a great run last week and picked up several spots in the points. As we've got one car, I believe it is Blake, headed to pit road. Brandon Newby is coming in. That long, slow drive down the Dover pit road. Kyle Holden's lead now 1.8 seconds over CJ. Blake Veakin and Brandon Newby just shy of the halfway point on this run. They are going to have the freshest tires on track. How much ground can they make up? Especially if the rest of the field decides to stretch their fuel to the finish. And regardless of how much ground they make up, they are about to have a ton of fun. We've talked about it in the past. On a track like Dover that eats tires, when you come off pit road on a fresh set of Goodyears, it's about as much fun as you can have in a race car. Riding along with Blake Veakin, watch this. Austin Abel just ahead, Blake to the bottom, just shoots by and closes the gap on the two cars ahead. Carries a lot more momentum out of turn 2 down the end of, wow, look at the run he gets. If nothing else, Blake and Brandon are having the most fun on track right now. Kyle Holden out front now is an almost 2.5 second lead on CJ. Mark D'Antuma about 2.5 seconds back in third. Mark Nelson currently running in fourth. Michael Whiting has made his way to fifth. Whiting struggled in the first couple of laps during that first run. Oh, holy cow! Richie Joplin is around. Caution! Caution is back out. Well, let's see if we can see what happened with Richie. There's Richie right behind Mark Nelson. Looks low coming into the turn. Just can't complete the pass. Hits the outside wall on the front stretch. Back down into 1 and 2. Through 3 and 4, Michael Whiting right to his bumper. Richie gets it into the outside wall, gets stuck for a moment. Michael Whiting manages to get by there. And there you see, he starts to get loose. And loses a lot of ground. Richie was definitely headed backwards at that moment. Let's back this up to right before. Oh, bangs into the wall. Austin Habel, man, talk about luck. Let's get a different angle on this. I don't believe Newbie got into him. Oh, he might have gotten a love tap from Newbie. Ouch. Pit stops have been completed as we get ready to go back to green. Everybody on fresh tires, and that hurt Blake Viken and Brandon Newbie in a really big way. Those two drivers had already been to pit road just a few laps before. Now they have a huge setback. Kyle Holden in control. Pace car dives in. And let's crank it up, folks. An update from race control. Brandon Newby did not have contact with Richie Joplin. They were on Richie on the tires. Newby got to his bumper, just took the air off. Richie got air loose and ended up in the wall. Richie trying to fight his way back at the moment, currently in 7th. Kyle Holden still out front, CJ in 2nd. Mark Dantuma currently in 3rd. Oh, Blake gets sideways. Let's watch Blake here. Newby up on the high side. Blake gets super loose, but drifts and keeps it off the wall and keeps his momentum up. Great save by Blakey Poo. Just over 30 laps to go here at Dover. Holden already moving out to a 1.1 second lead over CJ. Mark Dantuma in 3rd, half a second back. Newby's in the wall. No caution. See if we can see what happened with Newby. Oh, he gets wicked loose. Does a little bit of a drift. Kisses the inside wall just a hair, but does get it going again. Michael Whiting is now up into 4th place as Richie on his bumper in 5th. But Zach Henson, Austin Abel, Mark Nelson, and Austin Ruskoff all right there together. Austin Ruskoff's strategy move, obviously, whoa, Blake a little loose. Obviously, Austin coming in to top off. Under the caution did not help due to that other caution coming out. And obviously Blake Beacon and Brandon Newby making that early pit stop to try and take advantage of fresh tires. Definitely bit the two of them. Especially with the caution coming out just a few laps later. And folks, don't forget, it's a doubleheader tonight. Right after this, we'll hop over to Homestead, Florida for the SMR X Series. We had an awesome race with Home Motorsports at Homestead last Thursday. And when we go tonight, there will be over 30 cars on track battling for the win. Plus, the Cody Burke rule is in effect. Mark Dantuma currently in 3rd, closing the gap on Jeffries. Mark Nelson came into tonight with a 90-point lead. But Nelson in 8th and Dantuma in 3rd. That gap is going to close. Double D, lap car. Now the leader's coming past lap traffic, and after Newbie's problem earlier, he is likely within striking distance as well. Folks, don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, the Unicorn will be convoying. If you're on American Truck Sim or Euro Truck Sim 2, you're welcome to join her. Plus, with the release of the new Missouri DLC for American Truck Sim, we're going to be doing some giveaways. You might be able to win a copy of that DLC the day it releases. And make sure you're following on Facebook. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We released a hint yesterday. There is a big surprise coming soon. Oh no, Dan Tuma's in the wall. Problem, CJ Jeffries has had a problem. The caution has not flown. Dan Tuma is damaged. He is down to the bottom. Now the caution flies. Right at 20 laps to go. Let's see what happens. CJ has had to tow it in. Oh, CJ snapped loose, tried to save it. He collects Dan Tuma. Richie ends up in the wall. See if we can dial up our chopper cam. There you see, he just gets loose. Dan Tuma nowhere to go. Richie jumps to the high side and gets the wall. Wow. And Kyle Holden and Zach Henson are staying out. Blake Viken stays out to get waved around. Have a great night, Quack. We'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. And thanks for being here. If these two do not come to pit road, they are going to be out here on old tires. Whereas the rest of the field has come in and taken tires. Most of the field has taken 4 tires, but it does appear Austin Ruskoff may have only taken 2. Now it looks like Holden and Henson are coming in. And this may very well cost Kyle Holden the win. Lights are out on the pace car. Richie Joplin also ducking back in. He needed some repairs. Now it looks like he is still on pit road from repairs. Remember, he had been involved in an incident earlier on and used his fast repair already. Kyle Holden will come off pit road in 7th. Zach Henson in 8th. Blake Viken now back on the lead lap in 6th, but on old tires. Well, this is definitely going to be an interesting end to this one. Y'all might want to get buckled up for this one. Austin Ruskoff in control. Green flag is back in the air. Austin shoots to the front quickly. Mark Dantuma now 10 spots into 2nd. But Michael Whiting, oh no, Dantuma's around. He gets into Nelson. He gets into Whiting. Nelson crashes. Durant's got some. And holy crap, we just shook the whole race up yet again. Let's see if we can see what brought the caution out this time. Looking down from the chopper. Alright, looking down from the chopper, coming out of the turn. Oh, Dantuma gets a bump from underneath. He comes down, gets Whiting. Mark Nelson ends up in the wall. Michael Whiting, who got bumped around as well. A lot of cars back on pit road. Watch this. Michael Whiting almost got through it. Minimal damage, then he gets hit again. And that late pit stop for Kyle Holden and Zach Henson may have just paid off. Kyle now in 4th, Henson in 5th. Well, let's see if we can talk to our leader. Hey, Austin, it's Doug. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, first I have to ask, on that last stop, did you take right sides only?
I didn't take any tires.
Are you out of your mind?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just checking. I have to ask, man, it's not going to be many laps left, but a lot of fresh tires around you. Can you hold them off?
With it being Dover, I'm just kind of banking on maybe get one more caution, and I got that set sitting on the wall, and maybe make a little dash at the end.
Well, man, that may pay off in the end here. Cautions, precautions, but it's going to be iffy, buddy. Hope it works. Good luck.
Thank you.
So Austin Ruskoff has not gotten fresh tires since lap 80. Meanwhile, the 3 cars behind him, Blake Viken also has not been to pit road since lap 80. Meanwhile, Austin Abel, Kyle Holden, Mark Nelson, Zach Henson, Mark Dantuma, Michael Whiting, all on fresh tires, plus Brandon Newby on fresh tires, and back on the lead lap. 2 sets of old tires on the inside line, fresh tires on the high side. This will be interesting. Pace car drops in. Here they come, out of turn 4. Green flag flies. Austin is away. And Austin Habel had a problem getting going. So the old tires on the bottom were not the impact on the restart that we thought they would be. Hable kisses the wall. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is Hable on the high side. Zach Henson goes to the bottom, 3 wide, and shoots the gap. What a move. That was a gutsy move by Zach Henson, and it might give him the lead. And Henson will have the lead at the line with 10 to go. They are in a dogfight right behind 3 wide again. Austin Ruskoff losing ground. Here comes Kyle Holden on the bottom for Mark Nelson. But Brandon Newby now in second. 9 laps to go at Dover. Zach Henson straight up the middle and takes the lead quickly. Now has about 4/10 of a second on Newby. Kyle Holden now into third. Holden pushing that car to the limit, trying to get to Newby, but Mark Nelson staying in his tire tracks. Austin Hable still, caution is out. Michael Whiting involved. We will get a green-white checkered more than likely. Wow. Austin Hable definitely did not want to see that. Back behind. Oh, Blake Viken gets together with Michael Whiting, and Whiting just spins up the track. Mark Dantuma and Double D avoid him, but man, what a night for Whiting. Hey, good evening, John. How are you, bud? Well, this is definitely what Austin Ruskoff wanted. He just dove in to take his final set of tires. Mark Dantuma also on pit road. See if we can get a word with our current leader, Zach Henson. Zach, it's Doug. You got me?
I got you, Doug.
How bad did you not want to see that caution?
Yes.
I kind of figured that you pretty much had him licked there. I don't think anybody could have got back to you, but that caution's going to hurt. Now, can you hold them off?
I'm just gotta hope for a good restart here.
How much are you going to be mirror driving these final laps?
Just depends on how everything looks coming off too. See if anybody's got a run. Might have to block somebody, go high or stay middle.
Oh, it's definitely been an eventful night for you, man. You started back in 11th, didn't qualify. Now up here leading with just a few to go. You definitely got your hands full, but man, you're in the right place.
Hopefully we can pull out a win here tonight.
I hope so, man. And one heck of a pass, by the way, going up the middle 3 wide. That was gutsy and probably the move of the race if you pull off the win tonight.
I just had to go for it.
Oh, man, you definitely did. Good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you, Doug.
I'm doing good, John. All right, here we go. They are stacked up for the restart. And don't forget, folks, we've still got one more race to go tonight. Holy crap, I might need oxygen. Right after this race, SMR will put 36 cars at Homestead. What could possibly go wrong there? Alright, can Zach Henson hold on to it? Kyle Holden right behind him. Newbie and Mark Nelson on the high side. Pace car dives in. Henson in control of the restart. He fires there, a white-green flag in the air. Newbie has a bobble on the restart. Kyle Holden clears, takes second, and gets to Henson's bumper. Newbie still lurking right behind. Down into 3 and 4. Can Henson hold them off for 2 more laps? The top 3, the top 4, all on equal tires. Austin Ruskoff on the move, already up to 7th on fresher tires. Here they come out of 4. The white flag flies one more time around for Zach Henson. Can he get it done? Kyle right on his bumper. They put a gap. Brandon Newby is in trouble behind. Holden goes to the high side in 3. May not have the run. And across the line, Henson pulls off the win. Wow, what a finish. Kyle Holden coming home in 2nd. Mark Nelson in 3rd. And Brandon Newby, due to a last lap incident, comes home in 9th. Let's take a quick look. There you see Newby comes out of 2, gets loose. Mark Nelson scoots by, and everybody manages to avoid Brandon. Man, that was close. What a finish. That car will not have any tires left here in a moment. And let's talk to our top 3, starting with 3rd place, Mark Nelson. Mark, you were in the top 5 all night long, but a last lap incident gives you a podium.
Yeah, I don't really know how that happened. I wasn't even in the same zip code at Dover when we were practicing, so the fact that I came home with a podium is kind of surprising to me. I just was trying to keep the car intact and hope that things would just fall behind me. I don't know. You could tell me how I got here. I have no idea.
Well, I have to say, you had one heck of a run, very consistent. You kept the car out of trouble, and man, right place, right time. You said before the race you don't like this track. How you feel about it now?
I still don't like it, but I'm happy that it took mercy on me tonight.
Well, you know how much Richie loves these cars and this track, but you managed to keep him in your mirror tonight, buddy. Great job.
That's where he belongs.
Congrats,
Thanks,
man. Richie Joplin really loves these cars. Kyle Holden comes home in 2nd. Kyle, I really thought you had it, but that pit stop about lap 110, you guys didn't come in on the first lap, and that really was a huge setback.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at my field, telling Zach what to take, and then I just missed pit road entry there, so that's what kind of ruined it there for us, but we were able to kind of push through the field, and luckily Zach was able to get up front there and kind of hold it off.
Well, man, it was one heck of an awesome run tonight. You didn't qualify. You came to the front. It was some gutsy moves coming through, but you managed to get it done once again on the podium.
I appreciate it, Doug. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Great job, man.
Thanks.
And Zach Henson comes home in victory lane. Zach, I have a feeling in the future we're going to see a lot of you shooting up the middle 3 wide because it seems to work for you.
Yeah, do what you got to do, Doug.
Man, it was one heck of an impressive run. The biggest mover of the night by quite a bit. One heck of a run to the front. You managed to hold Kyle and Mark off there at the end. That caution definitely did not go in your favor, but you still made it work.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. It's been a good day. My Blue Devils won. My boy Bowman came in second, and I got a win in the BRR League.
Well, man, I know it's been a while. Go celebrate this one, man. Great to see you back in victory lane. One heck of a win.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Wow. What a night for Zach Henson. Just an impressive run all the way around. We'll have it up on YouTube later, and I highly recommend you go watch that last 20 laps again just to see that pass. It was impressive. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to have SMR X Series on track in just a few moments. Stick around, y'all.